Making a warrior cat's fursuit. Oh yeah, I'm real excited for this one. If you couldn't tell from the fact that my channel name is literally a warrior cat name, I like warrior cats. A lot. And since the new arc, A Starless Clan, just released its final book, I can finally start reading it because I like to wait until all the books in the arc are released first. That way I can binge them all at once and I don't have to wait for like half a year to continue the story. Right now I'm on book 4 out of 6 and I've been really enjoying it so far. So I'm kind of, in the warrior cat's mood right now. So when I was deciding what to make for my next video, a warrior cat themed fursuit was kind of the obvious choice. I'm also really excited because I've got a bunch of airbrushing stuff that I want to try on this suit. You'll see that later in the video though. So yeah, let's get started. First thing I did was order some foam online to start carving the base with. But when it arrived, I realized a problem. The thin foam that the bucket head base is supposed to be made out of was not thin at all. Like, what the hell, man? So I went back and I looked at my receipt and I immediately realized my mistake. You see, what I've done is on the website, you can click inches, centimeters, and millimeters. And I must have clicked 1 inch when I meant 1 centimeter. So yeah, that's my bad. And the worst thing is I ordered 2. I thought, oh, look at me. I'll order 2 so I can be ready for next time. What a grand and intoxicating innocence. How could I be so naive? Whatever. I suppose we'll just have to live with it for now. So I made my extra fat, extra thick bucket head base. And this is what we're going to be gluing foam to and carving out to make the shape of the head. And making a cat-shaped head is actually not too difficult at all. I mean, I've actually done it before for my own suit. It's pretty much the exact same as a canine head, except it just has a smaller schnoz. So I went through and I carved out a muzzle by sticking together 3 of these type of shapes and then carving it with scissors until it looks something like this. Next, I stuck that to the base with hot glue and made a little shape like this thing, and that's going to be the lower jaw. Then I carved out some cheeks for each side with a big piece like this carved into kind of a rounded shape, and then a little piece stuck on the side for just like a little bit of extra width. After that, I made the eyebrows with like this McDonald's M type of shape, then stuck that to the base and carved it out so that it actually looks like eyebrows and eyes. Next was the ears, which I actually did a bit differently to before. Before, I've done the ears as just like big flat triangles, but this time I kind of wanted to curve them. Because, I mean, real cat ears aren't just like Dorito triangles on their head. They're more like curvy Doritos, I guess. So to make the kind of curvy shape, I used regular foam instead of EVA foam. And I glued them on in a way where they were kind of bent around. Afterwards, they looked like this, which, yeah, I think those are way too huge. I mean, look at them, man. He's like Santa. He hears you when you're sleeping with ears like that. So I trimmed them down a bit and added some fabric around the base of the ears. This is so that the ears are stuck on a bit stronger, because a lot of people seem to always pick up fursuits by the ears. And obviously that's not very good because the entire weight of the thing is hanging on by like a little bit of ear glue. So by adding the fabric, it makes it a bit stronger, so that hopefully the ears won't just come off if someone tries to pick it up. And after that, the base is completed. Here's what it looks like. Looks pretty good, huh? But I bet you're wondering, hang on, mate, hang on. I know we're making a warrior cat fursuit, but like, which cat are we even making? There's like a bazillion. You haven't told us, Duskflame, you idiot. Alright, hold on, calm yourself. I'm getting to that part. Deciding which cat to make was a bit of a hard decision. I mean, like, there are like a bazillion of them. I mean, look at this. So I sat down and had a good think before deciding on Jayfeather. And there's a few reasons why. At first, I thought I should do a character from the new books. But then I realized, hang on, there's like 100 or something books. People watching this video probably aren't nearly as obsessed as I am. They probably haven't even read the new books yet. So then, because of that, I thought, what about Firestar? Because, you know, he's in the first arc. You can't miss him. But his design is kind of generic. He's just a ginger cat with green eyes. But Jayfeather seems like a good choice. Because, I mean, yeah, he is introduced like 12 books deep. That's probably more books than the average American has read in their whole life. However, he is a popular character. Everyone probably knows him anyway. I mean, he's literally all over the merch store. They even made him a damn mirror. A Jayfeather makeup mirror. So when I say he's all over the merch, I mean it. And also, I like him a lot. He's one of my favorites. His design is very iconic, unlike Firestar, which, as I said, is just a ginger cat, basically. And he has stripes. You see, I wanted to do a cat with stripes or some kind of pattern because I haven't actually done that for a fursuit yet. The only pattern I've ever done is like a white muzzle, so not really much. And I thought, you know, doing a cat with stripes, that would be a good little challenge, you know what I mean? So now we've decided on a character. Next thing we need to do is the eyes. Usually, this is the part where I would paint the eyes on myself. But I've actually got these things today. You see, I found this online store. It's called Carniv Creations. And they do this thing where you can draw your own eyes digitally, send them a picture, and they'll print it straight onto the mesh for you. So now we've got this super cool, super professional eye instead of my terrible painting skills. I also bought the fur for this suit from Carniv Creations. And they also sent me stickers for some reason. I mean, I didn't order these, but thanks, I guess. So I started cutting and gluing the white plastic to make the sclera of the eyes. But then disaster struck. While I was doing it, I must have like knocked over my glue gun or something. Which, I mean, normally that would be fine. It's just a glue gun. But it fell in the literal worst place it possibly could have. Right on top of all the other glue sticks. And it melted most of the package. Look at that. That's just great, isn't it? Now, half my glue sticks are just a mangled, mushy mess. And as if that wasn't bad enough, I continued making the eyes. And then realised that the mesh I ordered was too damn small. Oh my god, we are having a shocker today. This has not been going very well. First, the foam was too thick at the very beginning. Then the glue got all mangled and munted. And now I've got to order new eyes. Unbelievable. So while we wait ages for the new mesh to arrive, suppose we might as well get something done while I'm waiting. So I made the lining for the head, sewed that all together and glued it in. I also have these magnets that I used to make some magnetic eyelids. The eyelids are pretty simple to make. I didn't even look up a tutorial for this, even though I've never done it before. Because I mean, how hard can it really be? It's just fabric with some magnets glued on the back. That's literally it. It's not exactly rocket science, is it? And then after that, I made the duct tape pattern for the fur, which is basically where you cover the entire thing in tape. And then you use that to determine the size of each piece of fur that you need. It's kind of like UV unwrapping in Blender. We're kind of making the 2D texture that goes onto the 3D object. Also, by the way, the addition of the stripes pattern makes this part so much more difficult and confusing. Like, you can't really see on camera, but the amount of lines and labels and different pieces I had to draw on was mental. So I actually ended up making the stripe pattern like way simpler than I was going to originally. Because something like this, which is Jayfeather's mini design, yeah, that's a ridiculous amount of stripes. There's no way. Alright, I am not doing that. That would take like 1,000,000 years to sew. So I just went with a pattern like this. 2 stripes on each cheek, 2 on his head, and this kind of like eye shape in his forehead. Because I always used to draw Jayfeather with this like eye pattern on his head when I was younger. Because you know his power is he's blind, but he has the sight to see into people's dreams and stuff. So it kind of like represents his powers, you know what I mean? It's like a third eye. Listen, it made sense when I was a kid, alright? Whatever. By this point, the new eyes had arrived and I could finally finish them off. There we go. Much bigger, much better. So I glued those in and I made sure to like really get them in there. In my previous 2 heads, I had the eyes kind of face more forwards rather than like this diagonal thing that I'm trying to go for now. Because I thought the fact that they were forward facing was like ruining the follow me eyes effect. But I mean, these eyes aren't really all that follow-y either. So I'm not really sure what I'm missing here. But I suppose I've already glued them in, so there's no going back now. And it's fine anyway. I mean, follow me eyes aren't strictly necessary for a good suit. I mean, hell, the most expensive fursuit ever made, which was 50 grand, by the way, didn't even have follow me eyes. They were literally 2D eyes. So, who cares, alright? Obviously not this guy, Zuri Studios, he don't care. Considering all of their suits have 2D eyes, and someone bought a fursuit from them for over 50 grand. Twice! What the hell, man? Zuri Studios, give me a ride in your Lamborghini, mate. Oh my god, I really need to get good at this. You know, I want to be making that kind of money. Anyway, once I cut all the duct tape pieces off, I translated them onto the fabric with this. A golden Sharpie. I was told in the comment section of my last few videos that normal Sharpies are really bad because they can like leak through the fabric if it gets wet. But with these gold ones, it doesn't. Which I scientifically proved using my bathroom sink. See, look at that. Perfectly intact. Also, another good thing is that the silver one, which is the same kind of thing as the gold one, it can write on black. Which was another big problem I've been having with my last few suits. So I went about my business transferring the pattern pieces onto the fabric until I realized I did them all backwards. Doing them like this is the wrong way. The sticky side is supposed to be up, not down. Now they're all mirrored. Oh my god. I just wasn't paying attention, I guess. I am really having a shocker in this video. Like, what is happening, man? I'm like cursed or something. But whatever. I pressed on and I didn't want to do it all again because, you know, I've already wasted enough time by now. This video is already way later than I wanted it to be because of all these mistakes I've been making. So instead of wasting more time, I just pinned my pattern pieces down and cut directly around them instead of drawing onto the fabric again. Which, I mean, it's not pretty, but it works, alright? I also purposefully left no seam allowance. For one specific reason. I never seem to get it right with seam allowances and using the machine. It just ends up like not fitting properly. So this time I left no seam allowances and hand sewed the entire thing. And you know what? I was bloody right. The fur fit on the base way better than before, with practically no wrinkling. It fits very nice and snug, so that's good. What isn't good, however, is the amount of time I spent sewing all these stripes together by hand. But I think the extra time is worth it because it made the result better, you know what I mean? So I'm alright with that. Then after that, I sewed on some neck fur, added some black outlines to the eyes, and sewed a little hair tuft on his head. And now this is the point where we would normally be finished. But as I said earlier at the very beginning of this video, I want to try airbrushing. And I've never done this before. And actually, now that I think about it, I don't even know how this thing works. So I watched some tutorials online and it seemed easy enough to do. But I'll be honest, I was really worried that I was just going to completely ruin it. And I spent ages just like practicing and testing it because I really don't want to screw this up, alright? But eventually, I just bit the bullet and went for it. This is what it looks like before, and this is what it looks like after. It doesn't look terrible, but I mean, it doesn't look great either. I'm also really disappointed because I accidentally pulled the trigger like a little bit too hard right here on the ear, and now there's like a stain and it wouldn't rub off even with water. I managed to sort of mitigate it by using some scissors and trimming the pile so that it's less noticeable. But it's still like a little bit there, like you can still see it a little bit. I wasn't very impressed with the airbrushing around the rest of the ears either. Like I thought I could blend it to the dark grey, you know what I mean? But I think it just looks kind of bad. So I did the same scissoring thing to kind of try and hide it. And it kind of worked, kind of not. I mean, at least it's less noticeable now. Oh, and also I want to mention, by the way, mixing these ink things to make grey was a nightmare, alright? You see this tiny little speck of black, this tiny little speckle. This is all it takes to go from light grey to like super dark, almost black. To get a lighter grey, I literally had to tip the entire mixture out and then just fill it with only white so that it's just white mixed with like the little remnants of black from when I tipped it out. So yeah, honestly, I don't really like airbrushing. It was kind of a nightmare and I don't think I'll be doing it again. At least I can say I've tried it now, but like I don't really think it especially improved the suit all that much. And I can see how easy it is to completely ruin it doing this. And if I spent ages on a suit and accidentally painted the eye or something, oh, I would lose my whole mind. So yeah, this thing can go back in its box and probably rot for eternity now. I suppose I can't be too disappointed though. I mean, you're bound to make mistakes when trying new things. That's just how it goes. Anyways, that is the head done. This is what it looks like, and if you want to have it for yourself, I'll have it up for auction on the Dealer's Den. You can find a link to that in the description or the pinned comment. And I just want to say, this is probably going to be my last video of the year, but don't worry, alright? I have got a banger planned for January, alright? Another full suit, digigrade, and I've got the most wicked design for it, alright? It is going to be my most complicated suit yet, and it's going to be sick. So make sure you subscribe, don't miss that when it comes out. In the meantime, you can watch my other videos, like my last fursuit, which was also a cat, and it was a full body suit too. Or you can watch the video about my very first fursuit.